Hello, Ms. Clark. How you doing? You call the police?
I said that I didn't want to deal with you. Tamper with evidence is a felony if you've done it multiple times, Skinner. I told the operator that I want 911 to stop dispatching out criminals that tamper with evidence, intimidate me, assault me, and arrest me, and keep me in my abuse and lie.
What do you need with police today, Ms. Clark? How can we?
I told you, are you a detective, Skinner, Sergeant Skinner? What's your position, Skinner?
My name is Sergeant Skinner.
Sergeant Skinner, I don't want to deal with you. You have already committed crimes. I'm tired of you depriving me of my rights, lying, and committing open felonies, getting away with it.
Every officer has been to your house and nothing has been accomplished. What do you need?
Because you're committing a crime. You don't need to gaslight me and abuse me. Those are criminal offenses, intimidation tactics, covering up for crimes. I don't want to deal with you. Have someone else call me. I've already told. I have rights, and you don't need to tread on my rights. I don't want to talk to someone that has already tampered with evidence already. I don't want to talk to you.
Okay, well, we're not going to send police out there, okay?
I need to report some crimes, and that would be a felony offense like you've already done.
Keep sending police out there. If you're going to harm yourself or somebody else, we need to get you.
I have been harmed, and you've been covering up for it.
If you have evidence of a crime,
I do. I just don't want to deal with you. I do have evidence of a crime.
In the city of Dallas who needs our help. If you need us, we'll come. If you don't need us,
they have to disregard. That's what the bully likes. Okay? Other people deserve help. Isn't this a felony crime? I'm trying to report crimes, and you've been depriving me of the right to do that for a long time, Skinner.
Ma'am, we've come out there a million times. There's no evidence that you have given us.
Okay, well, I have evidence now.
What evidence do you have, Ms. Clark?
On my YouTube channel of how I get gang stalked. I'm sorry?
We don't go by our YouTube channel, Ms. Clark.
Well, I can show you the videos in person if you don't want to look at the YouTube. If you want to tamper with.
We've already seen all the videos. What else do you have, Ms. Clark?
Okay, you just said you don't look at YouTube channel. Are you lying, Skinner, like you did last time?
The videos, Ms. Clark, when I've been there, we don't need to look at YouTube videos.
There's more incidences.
What evidence do you have of a crime, Ms. Clark?
First off, your behavior is inappropriate for someone that is claiming to be a domestic violence victim.
What do you have, Ms. Clark? If you don't have anything else, I'm going to end this phone call. Okay?
I do, but first off, you are committed to felony crimes of tamper with evidence. Okay. So I don't want to speak with you because you just couldn't. I think that you'll continue to do it. So they have no right to continue to do this. So let me keep trying to get to the bottom of it. They've been doing this years. They have no right to continue to do this. So let me call back. All the scammers do is just set up corrupt police. He's controlling it. He's behind it. So they're all working together. You got to see it to believe it. You can easily get, think that someone would think this is mentally ill unless you see it. But I know that you don't get treated like this for years in all locations, including 311. They have came out and arrested me and assaulted me at Red Roof Inn. I was just begging for my life on the phone, and they showed up on their own. They got infuriated. I wasn't even calling, I was calling locations trying to get off the streets and escape their abuse, and they just showed up and told me I wanted to hurt myself until they saw me recording. Then they set up for Red Roof Inn to give me a criminal trespass in a scheme. Then assaulted and arrested me when I tried to get ready to be on the streets. They didn't want me to get ready for whatever reason. They didn't want me primping myself up or looking to fixing myself up to be on the streets. So they interrupted that with an assault and arrest.
Dallas 911, this is Kate. Do you need police, fire, EMS?
Police.
All right, for what address?
Yes, what's your name?
Kate.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Kate.
I can't hear you.
My name is Kate, K-A-T-E.
Okay, so do I have a right, if there's an officer that is obviously tampering with evidence, to not have a corrupt police sent out and be forced to speak with the criminal? Do I have rights?
You have rights. I can't legally speak on what they are and what they are not, as I am not an officer. I do show that we have an officer en route to you, though.
Okay, Skinner keeps calling, interrupting it. He's telling me that they're not coming out. He's been covering for crimes for a long time, tamper with evidence, which is a felony offense. Some kind of way these people are committing extreme crime, criminal activity with no consequences for years. So I'm ready to start to end my abuse. I've been tortured and terrorized enough. These people need to start getting consequences for their crimes, these massive extreme events. So I don't want Skinner, a person that came out, intimidate me, openly committing felonies, getting away with it, to come out and do the same thing again. Why don't I have rights? Why has the United States deprived me of rights and enforced and covered for my abuse? and enlisted parties to be a part of it.
Again, I cannot speak on that because I am not an officer.
Does it have something to do with these 911 dispatchers out covering up and hanging up in my face for crime and covering up for crimes? Are they enlisting police? Are they dispatching out corrupt police in a scheme? Is that why they all cover for crimes and give me incident reports number and then say that there's no evidence while they're committing felony crimes of tamper with evidence? Hacking a phone network is a crime.
Supervisor, but I can't speak on legality of anything.
I'm sorry, what did you say? You can do what?
I can get you transferred to a supervisor, but
the supervisor won't pull the calls. They cover for it, all of them. I've been having a supervisor look into it for years, and they have never pulled the calls, which is I thought was a crime. Preventing someone from making emergency calls and emergencies is criminal. And especially hanging up in my face like 3 times, and there was a poisonous snake right in front of me. Only feet in front of me. No resolutions, as it hasn't been years. No resolutions allowed. I imagine you can get away with this chaos years, and someone would need to set up a YouTube channel to expose the government's insanity and how they're out of control. No one would believe it. But if someone mentally ill is controlling the government, like as I stated before COVID, who else does that endanger? I'm not being heard, ma'am. Is 911 and the police department and government not going to offer me any solutions to escape my abuse? With felony crimes being committed? Is the government depriving me of any assistance to get out of an abusive situation that's dangerous? As they have for years? Ma'am.
As I've told you already, I can't speak on legality of any of this.
I'm just asking for you not to dispatch out a criminal to assist and cover up. That's all. Who are you dispatching out?
I just type in the call. That's all I do. I don't dispatch at all.
Okay, well, type in the call that Skinner has been tampering with evidence. I'm asking for Skinner not to be sent out. Type that in there. And tell Skinner not to continue to call me and harass me and commit felony crimes of tampering with evidence. Did you type that in there?
I can.
That's what I'm asking. The government has no right to continue to enforce and enlist people to terrorize me and conspire with my abuse. They have no right to continue to do that for any more years. It needs to end. It's sick. Down to the degree of simply trying to order and purchase food. Depriving me of that right.
Okay, I have typed that in the call, ma'am.
Okay, well, Skinner keeps calling me back, trying to harass me for trying to get out my abuse, as well as all police departments that used to try to enforce it by assaulting me and arresting me for it. I don't know why they would protect this innocent man and deprive me of any callback or resolutions to getting out of his abuse. It's more like they're conspirators in it, if you ask me. Which is a crime. Ma'am?
I can't speak on legality of any of this.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand. So I'm reporting the crime that the police is committing, and there's no avenue for you to do anything, period. You can't speak of it. Calling 911, reporting a crime to 911 that a police is committing, you can't help and can't speak on any legality. But I'm reporting a multitude of crimes that the government has been enlisted in, and there's no resolutions for the government committing crimes. That's legality. It's no longer criminal. So you can't speak of the legality of our government officials committing crimes. It's no longer criminal. It's just legality. So 911 cannot take a report of government officials abusing their power to commit crimes.
So I can't speak on any of that.
No, but you have a responsibility to combat the situation with a resolution, which you're depriving me of, as it has been done years. So I'm informing you that a government official is committing a crime, a multitude of them, enforcing a lot of abuse. But that's legality in your opinion instead of criminal activity. Now you report 911 to 911 crimes. I don't understand because since it's the government, now it's not a crime anymore. It's just legality. We haven't got a resolution to the government being enlisted and enforcing my abuse. That is criminal. We haven't addressed that as we haven't for years. That's what I'm trying to combat, ma'am. I'm not being heard. It's not just legality. You're mistaken. It's a crime. We're deflecting as we have for years, ma'am. Ma'am, are you covering for the crime? As 911 has been doing years? Are you sure this is 911? Because hacking a phone network is a crime, ma'am. And if you are allowed to hack the phone network for me, can you do it for other parties? How does the government have access to scammers, ma'am? How do they have the scammers at their disposal, ma'am? Can you answer that? What's going on with these ads, ma'am? My counterfeited ads. Are ads counterfeited for other parties? Ma'am, why won't they investigate that? Why did his body cam footage go out to cover for evidence of things being committed? And why did Rockwall police lose that report, as well as Itasca? It's like Itasca was covering for it. What's the government into, ma'am? Ma'am. What's the government into? Sounds like there's some pretty hardcore crimes the government's into, ma'am. Ma'am, I don't understand why on a multitude of these calls people behave like children. Are you there, ma'am?
I'm still here.
Okay, ma'am. Well, you're not being very productive, as well as a multitude of people haven't been productive on these calls.
I just don't have any answers for you.
Okay, so you're 911 and you cannot take a report, period, as they haven't for years, of government officials, me reporting government officials committing crimes. It can't be done, as it hasn't been done for years.
No.
I'm sorry?
My only job is to put a call in for an officer to go.
Are you reporting, are you putting the call in that I'm reporting government officials abusing their power, committing crimes? Is that what's in the report, or are you tampering with evidence?
Calls already in.
Ma'am, are you putting in that I'm reporting government officials abusing their power, tamper with evidence, and enforcing abuse? Is that what you're putting in the call? Because otherwise that would be a crime.
There is already a call in for you.
Are you tampering with evidence, ma'am, as they've done multiple times in the past? Do you not want to put the truth of what I'm reporting in the call sheet?
All of these.
Are you committing a felony crime at 911, as they've done in the past? Ma'am, I don't understand why they refuse to put the truth and send out right care and schemes, which are felonies that are racking up, ma'am. We need to get a common ground on why 911 operators lie in the call sheets and sabotage my ability to escape the abuse. So I am doing a report of government officials abusing their power to terrorize, violate, and enforce my abuse. Are you refusing to put the truth in the call sheet, ma'am? What's your name again?
I'm going to let you speak to it, Supervisor.
No, ma'am, I want to know your name, ma'am.
You're getting nowhere.
Ma'am, because you're committing a crime openly, ma'am, and you to gaslight me when you're getting caught in criminal activity. I don't want to have to repeat myself, ma'am. I don't. I just want you to put the truth in the call sheet. And there should not be too much to ask for 911 operators not to lie and gaslight me over the lying and committing crimes. I don't want to have to repeat myself, ma'am, again. It's abusive. All I want for you to do is be honest and do your job. It's part of the harassment. So now they get to forget everything that I've said because they're transferring me to someone else. So I'll just tell them to pull the call. This is how much time I've invested in this call. Being placed, but they've done this years. And since I was forced to do my own investigation work, I just learned their schemes. I'm still on hold. What is that saying? When the going gets tough, the tough get going?
For officers to come out.
Okay, I'm not being heard. I didn't want you to tamper with evidence in the report.
Okay.
Like they've been doing years.
I have just put a call out about government abuse, cover-ups, and 911 depriving you from reporting domestic violence, okay?
Okay, and the government enlisted to deprive me of any assistance to get out of it.
Okay, I've already put the call in for you.
Okay, I tried to go get my records, ma'am. It depriving me of the ability to be able to report my experience would be abuse. So I tried to go get my.
Speak to officers and you will speak to them about
No,
that.
ma'am. There's some other things in this call that I'm trying to address. Are you covering for it, ma'am, by not letting me speak, ma'am? That would be rude for a 911 operator, as they've done years, ma'am. Can you please let me speak? Okay, so here's the thing, ma'am. I tried to go get my records to see what the 911 operators were putting in the call sheets for like over 70-something reports. They're depriving me of my records, as they've been doing years, and tried to force me to get records on things that happened several years ago. Only 3 records they tried to force me to get, records that they chose. So I'm not quite sure this big, huge conspiracy to violate my rights and how the police, Dallas Police Headquarters would control me and force me to get records, 3 records that they chose. That happened several years ago, ma'am. If I would have been able to get my records, I can see what you guys are putting in the call sheet. The supervisors keep lying, every last one that I speak with, for cover up. They won't pull the calls. So what am I supposed to do when 911 operators lie and slander me in the reports, and then I go to get the records to see how they've been doing it, and they force me to get the records they choose at Dallas Police Headquarters? Only 3 in their 70-something reports. Ranging from getting ran off roads, hit and runs from multiple different family members, assault with a deadly weapon, theft of food stamps, theft of Attorney General child support payments, crimes with Social Security Administration. These are some extreme events: stalking, harassment, trapped on trains and buses. But some kind of way they only want me to get three records, lies and slander, even to the point of arrest and getting detained and sent to hospitals with evidence, supporting evidence that I was violated. But some kind of way I've slipped through the cracks over like 100 and something times with all police departments and avenues of law enforcement. We'll see what they concoct now, ma'am. Okay, thank you. This has been going on years.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.